between two conflicting testaments. Somebody is lying.
Hello, my nieces and nephews. Good morning. I'm recording this on the 16th of November, and Donald Trump has well lost the election. He's done, but he's still tweeting. He's like, the radical left Democrats working with their partner, the fake news media, are trying to steal the election. We won't let them. Oh my gosh. Let's just get into this for a second because this is fun. Okay, who voted for Joe Biden because you're tired of having White House Karen for president? Yeah, I'll go ahead and like that. It's not too late for the 25th Amendment for this guy. You lost. That's another one. All hands to the bunkers. Keep fighting, sir. America needs you. He won. I concede. Someone just, that's a good one. That's a good one. Hey, Donnie, do you feel like living in the Matrix? You're going to prison for at least 5 of the following reasons: tax fraud, bank fraud, wire fraud, insurance fraud, campaign finance violations, emoluments violations, Impound Control Act violation, conspiracy to throw an election ×2, extortion, obstruction, negligence, homicide. I mean, he's not going to go to prison. I mean, if he has charges in the Southern District of New York, then yeah, that'll be some real shit. But if he has like, oh, he did bad things while president, then they're gonna let him off. So because everybody else wants to get away doing whatever they want when they're president. I mean, that's why you want to be president. Okay, raise your hand if you think that Donald Trump needs to be removed from office immediately. The radical right Trump working with Republicans are trying to steal this election. The Constitution and the Secret Service won't let them. They'll drag them kicking and screaming. See, that is an excellent point. In all this like voter fraud and crying and I mean, it's Donald Trump, so he speaks in the language of projection. But I mean, it's good. He's literally trying to steal the election. Like he's like doing every fraudulent lawsuit that he can to try to steal the election. Every one of them has been thrown out. It's ridiculous. Imagine what our forefathers would said if we told them that 2020 a Republican president would refuse to admit he lost, even though he lost by 6 million votes and over 70 electoral college votes. I mean, it's so hilarious just to go into Donald Trump's Twitter. I mean, if you haven't done it, you must try it, especially now that he's a loser. Okay, donkey of the day. Let's watch a little Breakfast Club. Charlemagne the God hands out an award called Donkey of the Day, and this is given to people who act like asses. And it's quite a charming segment. Breakfast Club, one of the biggest black radio shows. It might even be just one of the biggest radio shows, period, on that comes on iHeartRadio. I will watch this. I'll peep in from time to time because I do love music. And so they tend to have the music lean, have a lot of artists come in and things like of this nature. But he also gets into a little bit with politics, how politicians on. I believe they've had AOC, they've had Kamala Harris. They might have had Bernie. I don't remember. Anyway, but he'll just talk shit. And this is I love the topics he picks. And this one I do have an issue with what Charlemagne's take. So let's listen and see what Charlemagne has to.
With Charlemagne the God, I don't know why y'all keep letting him get y'all like this.
Yes, Donkey of the Day for Monday, November 16th goes to a rapper named Little Pump, or as the current lame duck celebrity in chief calls him, Little Pimp. Now, Little Pump is from Florida. I didn't even know he was from Florida, but what did your Uncle Charlotte always say about Florida? Come on, say it with me. The craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida. Now, folks saw Little Pimp out there campaigning for the guy who lost the election, Donald J. Trump. Can we hear from that rally? Can we hear that clip?
one of the big superstars of the world, Little Pimp. How's it going? Do you want to come up and say something?
Sorry, he doesn't even know your name.
Come on, Little Pump. Come on. Does everyone know who he is? Do you know how big he is? Come on up here.
I come here to say, Mr. President, I appreciate everything you've done for our country. You brought the troops home, and you're doing the right thing. MAGA 20, 20, 20. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. And do not vote for Sleepy Joe at all.
2020 sounds like too long of a year. Personally, I didn't care that he did that. You know, the reason I didn't care is because I have no problem with people thinking freely about their politics. Even if I don't agree with their politics, the guy wanted to vote for Trump. Who cares? Maybe the red MAGA hat matches his car. I'm sure he has a bright red pair of sneakers that matches the hat. Hey, maybe he's blood and the red MAGA hat with the red of the Republicans makes him feel comfortable enough to bang that set. I don't know. I didn't care. But what I do acknowledge is cap. And that's what happens a lot on social media. Just cap. So much cap on the app, and there's people who literally get on there with the sole intention of making you care about something that you should not be caring about. But the only reason you would care is it's impossible to not get swept away by the tide of groupthink. So it can be a person that you have never thought of in your life, like a Little Pimp. Okay, you can't name a song, don't know anything about him. You probably never even heard of him until you saw a bunch of people angry at him on social media for supporting Trump. And then clowning him because Trump didn't even know his name when he introduced him at the rally during the campaign. But since you saw everybody else attacking him, you wasted time and energy attacking him too. Do you even care today that he supported Trump? Of course you don't. Why would you? Okay, Trump lost. Therefore, Pump's endorsement didn't matter. And you know why Pump's endorsement didn't matter even more? Because none of this matters if you don't vote. And ladies and gentlemen, Little Pump did not vote. Oh, I loved reading this article on Complex over the weekend. Oh, let me read a little bit of it. Despite going all in on his support for Donald Trump, SoundCloud rapper Little Pump didn't bother to vote in the 2020 presidential election. In fact, according to the Smoking Gun, Pump didn't even register to vote. End quote. Little Pump's real name is Gazzy Garcia. He's 20 years old, and he doesn't show up as a registered voter on Florida state voter rolls. Okay, these.
Oh, Gazzy Garcia did not register to vote. OMG, Gazzy, what is going on? Okay, now, how would I feel about this Gazzy Garcia, aka Lil Pump? I feel that is incredible. I think, you know, whatever happened with this Lil Pump, I feel like he got some money to show up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Do you think he really showed up for free and then not voted for Trump? I don't know. Like, a kid like this seems like he's making money. It seems like if he's got enough notoriety where the president would even want him to appear at something, then his time is probably valuable in that he probably gets paid a decent amount for his time in this, you know, working on albums. He probably will make a lot of money showing up on stage to sing or, you know, perform rap or whatever. So I would imagine any getting him to show up for something would take some sort of coaxing. He would have to be offered something. I doubt he would do it for free, especially when you find out in retrospect, 2020 vision looking, he didn't even register. But I think this is brilliant because honestly, let's be honest. Let's be tremendously honest right now. If you wanted to scam someone, I personally would start with Christians. I would start with Christians and like kind of religious people. And then I would go to like cultists, like people like Trump. Like, why? Why would I go there? Because human beings are relatively programmable. And I think they're even more programmable when you tell them what they want to hear. You know what I mean? And like, Trump fans are the most susceptible type of people to hearing what you want to hear, right? They just, as long as you just regurgitate the shit they want you to tell them, you know, like the Democrats are trying to take over the suburbs. The immigrants are trying to take all the jobs. We got to build a wall. We want to keep this country for real Americans, red-blooded Americans. Like, you know what I mean? I want small government. I don't like small government. I believe in the police. Blue lives matter, and we need to make sure we protect the police officers, and we need to make sure that the police officers have everything they need to fight these thugs and Antifas in the street. Boy, it's easy. Like, if literally all I would need to do is put on a suit or go dress like Charlie Kirk dresses and just say all that shit. 1350. You know, it's not my fault. The police are just going to where the crime is. You know, if black people just made better decisions, then the police wouldn't have to be there, period. I mean, it's easy. I can act. I was a theater arts major. I have a degree in acting. I could easily, especially for those kind of people, they're easy to fool. You wouldn't even really need to be a good actor. Literally, especially as I'm black. If you ever see me doing some Republican shit, it's because I have some bills that I cannot pay. And this is my last ditch effort. And I want attention and I want to be in the media. It's because it's the easiest grift. I mean, it's literally the best grift for a very, 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 very lazy person. Because, as someone who grew up around white people my entire life, it's very easy to tell you guys what you want to hear. Like, you're very gullible as long as it's the things you want to hear. Like, as long as I tell you, like, black people are actually more inclined to do violence. The FBI says so. No, they are. Absolutely. You'll believe it because you want to believe that shit. And all I need to say is 1350. Oh, how come 13% of them do 50% of violent crime? As though proving someone is inherently violent comes down to what one FBI statistic. So and then also skewing it the way that you want to make it 13, like to make it 50% of the violence. That's why they don't say this is how much actual crime is being done. They say 50% because it sounds like a bigger number than if you were to say black people commit 9,000 murders. You know what I mean? That sounds like, okay, 9,000 murders sounds like a lot, but there's 40 million people in America. And 250,000 people have died from COVID. So you don't really care about black people dying. If anything, those because then they further go on to say black on black crime, right? So they, which means they kind of like it, like they like that shit. There's black people, but then they try to act like, oh, I got you, but they don't care about that shit. It's like, but that's what it is. It's like as long as they don't need rhyme or reason. You just gotta regurgitate the talking point, and then so. With Lil Pump, it's like homie won't even say his name correctly, right? He calls him Lil Pimp. Okay, so it's like they're easy to grift. It's like if you want. I mean, what I'm saying right now is probably going to be damaging to the world, but if you want to make money, and you're down on your luck and you have bills to pay, just get in on the grift. Just go tell some right wingers something. Start a website, start a YouTube channel. And just say, hey man, these freaking socialists, bro, they're coming on my yard, and they're trying to take my shit. This hoodie's mine. This fucking hoodie's mine. I ain't sharing it. Like in socialism, it's like they'll come. Either they got to take my headphones or the microphone. I don't know, but it's socialism. And is that what you want? You want the government coming in to your house, telling you got to share your audio equipment? Man, I got a podcast to do, bro. I can't have time for this socialism. That you know what I mean? They're on some bullshit. So for Lil Pump, no, I'm not mad at him. I'm like, grift those people. I mean, Trump is grifting his people right now. He's like, donate to my election fund. Donate to my election fund. My anti-election, my fighting election fraud. Okay, if you're a MAGA fan, donate to him. That's perfect. Because here's the deal. Here's why I don't get super duper mad at Trump in a way. You know, he is corny, and I do hate his ass interpersonally. But with MAGA fans, it's like, if you actually look at cult leaders, people like Trump, demagogues, they always fuck over the people closest to them. They always fuck over their followers. You know what I mean? Like that's the reality. Like he hurts his followers more than he hurts the people who hate him, because the people who hate him just keep away from him. But his followers are the ones he grifts, are the ones he's taking money from, are the ones he's getting to pay for his campaign debt. So it's like with Trump supporters, that's another reason I don't really argue with them. I'm like, bro, Trump will do real life harm to you, whereas me and you, we're just gonna talk words and argue over social media. I mean, who cares? But if you actually follow Trump and you're close to Trump, he's gonna do you the most harm. It's like with the Trump vote, like with the voters who he left on the tarmac when he was doing rallies and he flew off and people were stranded at these airfields and couldn't get back to their car in 32-degree temperatures. It's like that's what he's gonna do to his followers. I mean, that's what he's gonna do to you. So I'm like, I don't really care. Like, you know what I mean? They're gonna go to rallies where he'll spread COVID to you and not care. He doesn't care. He'll spread it to the Secret Service. He just doesn't care. So the problem, I mean, I feel sorry for the people who have to be close to Trump because they're like Secret Service members or something like this. But for the average person, he's gonna hurt you. Like, I mean, so you can say Trump. These fools saying Trump 2020 and like MAGA and shit. It's like, all right, whatever. You go kick it with him. This is good for you, not for me. So with things like Little Pump and trying to it's like he's just getting his money, man. Like, and because Trump fans aren't discerning or don't think, they're like, do you know Little Pump? He's huge, yeah, and they're all cheering. It's like they don't know who the fuck he is. Like, but maybe he'll get some fans off it. You never know. So for Little Pump is a good move because how's it gonna hurt you? It's not gonna hurt him. Like, the people who are already into his shit are gonna stay into. They're gonna be like, "Oh, he's in it. He went to a Trump rally." It doesn't matter. He's still gonna be. If Tekashi 6ix9ine can work with the cops, he can work with the Trump campaign. No, it doesn't even matter anymore. Hip hop is just an aesthetic. It's not for a lot of these kids. It's not a real like lifestyle feeling. Like I got to be true to some sort of game. It's just it's LARPing. It's a play act. Where it's a performance art where they use the aesthetics of hip hop and the clothing and the culture and the style and the swagger of hip hop, but the essence of like being true and speaking up for the people and fighting the power and shit, that all of that shit died long ago.